Hello dear students, now let us have our discussion about measuring and forecasting earnings. So since we are studying a subject called as security analysis and portfolio management, so in this subject we are having a unit called fundamental analysis, where in this specific unit we will be discussing now about measuring and forecasting earnings. That is purely about earnings, that how to measure as well as how to forecast. Okay. So before getting into this topic directly, what is this? So let us have a discussion like, imagine yourself that you are going to start a bakery in your nearby local area, local region, right? So thing is, how much money will you can be able to earn next year? That should be the goal, right? See, whenever we are starting a new business, today we are earning some money, that is fine. But we have to think about future also. So that is the concept of this specific thing. So measuring earnings is something that is happening in present. Measure earnings is present, today. Forecast earnings is for tomorrow, future, maybe next year, after 2 years, after 3 years, whatever. This is what content. Right? So whenever you are starting a new business, what I said, like you are starting a bakery means like today business is what gaining what kind of profit, okay, but what will happen in future? This is what the content, right? So imagine that when you need to start a business like bakery means bakery shop, like you need to face first one is revenue, which is what like the earnings that what you gain, revenue, items like cakes will be there, breads will be there, so all soft drinks, like all these things will be there. So from that, how much revenue that you can able to generate? First, revenue. Second is, when we speak about revenue, what is the opposite side? Expenses. Obviously, expenses is the next part. Expenses, imagine that in your bakery, what might be the expenses? Raw materials, purchasing of raw materials is expense. Rent, you have to pay rent for your building, right? And electricity charges, right? So all these things, salaries who work in your shop, bakery, okay? So all these things you have to manage, right? Expenses. And then there is a concept called as EBIT. Earnings before interest and taxes. We also say this as operating profit. We also need to focus about this. That is day-to-day profit after spending all the expenses. What is the profit that you get that is left out? So you have to check that too. And next is interest and taxes. If at all you need to pay for some interest or taxes, which is what paid to the government. That is the next part. And income, net income. So after deducting all these things, the final profit, final income that what you are having right now in your hand is actually considered as the net income. Clear? So this is called as actually measuring earnings. All these things we can able to measure the earnings, revenue, expenses, EBIT, that is operating profit, interest and taxes, net income. All these things we need to think about it. Since we are starting a business, everything we have to tackle, right? So, next one is forecasting earnings. First part is over. Next one is forecasting. How to forecast? This is for tomorrow, future. Okay. So, for this, again, we will go this with design thinking based concept. Like there are 5 stages, as you all know. First one is empathize, second is define, third is ideate, prototype, test. Okay. Thing is, what you will empathize first? First, you need to understand about customers, whether in this particular region you need to start a business or not, bakery or not. You need to study about customers, competitors. Okay. So next is what? Defining. Defining in the sense like what is the average count of customers they visit on daily basis. Okay, so ideate is something that whether customers will come and visit on daily basis. If at all that happens, so what might be your profit? So you have to do some ideation work. So next is what prototype is do. You're turning your ideas into numbers, calculation based. So you're doing some projections, right? Calculation, mathematical, statistical calculations that you're working. And next is what? Testing. You're just bringing all these concepts into life. Okay, implementing, right? So these are all the 5 stages of forecasting earnings. So this is the entire thing called as measuring and forecasting earnings. Clear? Thank you.